Today is the 31st December 2020, the last day of this year, and we may have contemplated in the Dhamma that the Buddha taught that the days and nights are passing by. What are we doing right now? And it doesn't only pass in days and nights, but all of our lives have passed another year. And here we are listening to Dhamma, practicing Dhamma, chanting overnight, which is for our blessings and good fortune. But today we have passed 1 year, and through this year, we have all likely been building goodness and virtue. This goodness is about doing acts of merit, and there are many ways to make merit. There is the merit from dana, giving, from keeping the moral precepts, and from bhavana, cultivating the mind, or meditation. There is merit from being respectful and having reverence, merit from helping and supporting all types of public activities. And when our minds have already made merit, then we share this merit to those who have no more opportunity to make merit, those who are in suffering. They are waiting to receive the merit from the minds of those with metta, loving kindness, and karuna, compassion. We share this merit with a heart of metta to all living beings, and this is another type of merit. So in our daily lives, we have many chances to make merit. When we see others do goodness, even in small ways, they may do dana, keep precepts, listen to Dhamma, help out in all types of activities, they have a mind of respect and reverence, then we give our anumodana, we rejoice with their merit. And it isn't just with humans. Sometimes animals can do good deeds as well. We can also sadhu with that individual's mind that has goodness. Like there was one stray dog who lived around the rubbish bins, and it was trying to howl out to people passing by. This dog was struggling to survive and find food due to the results in its kamma. But when the dog saw people passing by, it tried to howl out to them. But the dog's eyes didn't seem fierce, and there was one motorcycle passing by, and he felt sympathy, so he stopped. The dog led the man to walk to the rubbish bin in one corner, and he was astonished to discover a small baby in that rubbish bin. So he informed the police and took the baby from the rubbish bin and saved its life. So this is a dog building goodness, and we can sadhu with it as well. Its mind was not ordinary at all. It was a stray dog living near the rubbish. It didn't have to do anything, or even could have eaten the baby and would have been able to survive for many more days with this food. But the dog didn't do this. Its mind was excellent. So goodness is not just for those who have a human body, but it's dependent on the mind. And this is the opposite to many who have a human body, but who have a mind that is not beautiful and is bad. So we can sadhu and anumodana with those who build goodness, and this is our merit and goodness. And what is important is that we need to have a foundation, which is a view that is correct. This is a view that is in line with Dhamma, a belief in merit and demerit, in this life and next life, a belief in the result of kamma, and in building goodness. This is having right view. And so it starts from doing merit and dana. The Buddha knew that each mind has a feeling of me and mine. Everyone loves themselves. Everyone does things for themselves. A father and mother do things for their children. This is natural and normal for us people being born, no matter what the country or nationality. But here we see that the Buddha taught that loving ourselves is normal and natural for the mind, but if we love ourselves too much, then there will be problems. There will be harming others, and there will be greed, anger, and delusion arising. They are doing things for themselves, for their group, and this leads to hurting each other. They don't keep sila, morality, or practice in line with the Dhamma. And so if it's this bad, then in society, in the public, in the country, or even in the world, there will be troubles and chaos because of lacking metta, love to each other. Even sacrificing material things to help others, they won't be able to do it. They want to get and gain in every sort of way, all for their happiness and for their group's happiness. And they don't see that others have to suffer because of their desire to gain advantage for themselves. But if each person has a mind of metta to each other, with the belief in the building of goodness, then they'll try to give up all forms of evil and unskillfulness they have. So we know that it is normal to have greed, anger, delusion, which is bad and demeritorious, but if we don't do anything about it, if we don't practice the Dhamma at all, then the mental defilements will just keep following us every day, every month, every year, until the breath ceases and we get cremated or buried. And by then, not much benefit will have arisen. But when we still have this body of ours, then we're able to build goodness and virtue. So try to take this body to give up the unskillful and the bad actions in body and speech. This is called sila. When we have this goodness, then this is a higher level. Giving dana is one level of goodness. We may give, but we still have expectations and desires from the gift. We want to get rich. We want to have prosperity and abundance, which is fine to do it in this way. But we should know that the highest type of dana is the giving that gives up the greed from the heart. Then this makes our heart become clean and radiant, and purity arises. This giving will then have great benefit. And giving forgiveness is a higher level dana as well, because it's normal when we have anger that we will proliferate and have ill will and harmful thoughts to others. We may have irritation and anger come up, and it may even happen while we listen to Dhamma. The monks say to give up greed and anger, and we can't yet do it. We can't yet give up alcohol, and we may have anger come up. We feel bad, and the mind then proliferates that we don't like what we've heard. This is delusion and ignorance, and this makes the mind proliferate. The state of the mind is lowered. But we shouldn't believe it. We can't believe the proliferation of the mind, because there is both the meritorious and the demeritorious there. So we need to train the mind. And even when we have these various thoughts and proliferations, we have to have patience with it and have sila. It's normal that we can't yet fully control our mind's thoughts and proliferation, but what should we do? We should try to train the mind. The Buddha said to give up all types of evil and unskillfulness from our actions and speech first. When we get rid of the bad actions and bad speech, then this is sila. Even if we have bad thoughts or feelings, but it can't do anything to us. It's like we have a tiger or a ferocious animal in a cage. We don't give it food or water, and then the tiger will lose its energy. It will have no power. This is like the mental defilements that instruct our mind constantly. They make our mind proliferate to be a certain way and to do demerit and bad karma. But we don't do it. If it proliferates for us to go gamble or go out late at night, we don't do it. If it proliferates for us to break our precepts, we don't do it. We endure it. This is about sila, and this sila is important. The result of dana and sila is the arising of happiness. The benefit of sila is to give us wealth, that is the noble wealth in the heart. Happiness arises in the heart, and this sila is the foundation that makes the heart be peaceful and cool, and it leads the mind to see the Dhamma. So sila has great benefits. All sorts of ornaments, like gems and jewels, are beautiful and have immense value. If we are wealthy, then we may search for these type of valuable ornaments and have a lot of them. But that which ornaments the mind the most is sila. Those that have this normal level of sila, then they have the highest ornament in their hearts. They have beauty in the heart. even if on the outside they have few ornaments, but in their heart they have great value, because the most excellent ornament is sila. And when we are equipped in terms of dana and sila, then we do bhavana, meditation. We give up demerit and do acts of merit. All the merit we do makes our goodness complete. This is on the level of practicing bhavana and meditation. Most Buddhists know about making merit by giving dana. They make merit and give regularly, like donating to build a monastery hall, an uposatha hall, vihara, or to purchase land for the monastery. We do this regularly. You all really have great faith and help to support Buddhism through material means. This supports the monks to practice and to search for the Dhamma of the Lord Buddha. And this has led to an unbroken line of Arahant Sangha disciples all the way to the present day until Venerable Ajahn Mun and Venerable Ajahn Chah in Thailand. And there were many other Venerable Arahant monks who practiced and trained till the attainment of Arahantship. So this is certain proof that building goodness can make our hearts become pure and radiant. And they teach us to practice following the teachings of the Buddha, to have dana, sila and bhavana, to train the mind to be peaceful. When we train the mind consistently and build goodness regularly all through the year, by giving alms, listening to Dhamma, keeping the precepts, then we may recollect this goodness as an object for our minds. We recollect the dana, sila, bhavana as our meditation object. This makes the mind empty, and so our minds become peaceful by recollecting our goodness. Or we can recollect the virtues of the Buddha by using the meditation word Buddho, or recollect the Dhamma by using Dhammo, or recollecting the Sangha using the word Sangho. Or we can recollect the goodness of the Devas, the heavenly beings that possess goodness and have the qualities of hiri, shame in wrongdoing, and ottappa, fear in wrongdoing. So this is a meditation object as well. And then we contemplate further that life is not certain. Recollecting like this is the meditation on death. So we can use one of these meditation objects, or we can use many objects in the beginning. Just make the mind be peaceful. Then when the mind is peaceful, those with wisdom may be able to contemplate into emptiness. The mind that is clean, pure, and the mind that doesn't attach to anything. The mind that still attaches to anything is suffering. Attachment to outer things is suffering. Attachment to the things of the mind or of our body is suffering. Attaching to children and grandchildren is suffering. And attaching to work, then we have all sorts of worries. So at the time when we train the mind, we are determined that during this period of time, we won't be attached to anything. Our mind is not attached to any mental object, and this is having emptiness as the object of our mind. That is, having nibbana as the object of our mind. This is the mind that doesn't attach to anything. This is a mental object, and also practicing to develop a meditation object. This Dhamma practice is developing the mind to have samadhi, one-pointed concentration. We can see that the heart has peace, coolness and radiance. This is another type of happiness that we've never experienced before. The inner joy arises full in the mind, which comes from contemplating. And then the mind is peaceful. Or when we recollect our goodness in dana, sila, bhavana, we recollect the object of emptiness, and the mind is peaceful and still. We practice like this, and then when we are more skilled, we can even just recollect Buddho, Buddho, and the mind is peaceful already, or Namo Buddhaya, and the mind is peaceful. Or meditating with the word emptiness, emptiness, and the mind is fully empty like the sky. Like this, the mind is peaceful, and this comes from our practicing of goodness by doing acts of merit and goodness to the fullest. So do it often. we can see that giving dana requires one to give up wealth to do dana. But keeping sila, you don't need to spend any money at all. There was one layman who asked Venerable Ajahn Chah that they had no money, but they had great faith and wanted to give. In terms of the merit and goodness, Ajahn Chah replied, "Have sila. With sila, there's no need to spend anything, no need to use any money, and it has great value. By just determining to keep the precepts, this is sila already. You can make the determination by yourself or with the monks. And when we are determined like this is sila. And this sila Dhamma and goodness gives us a lot of benefit. It will make us practice bhavana, and our practice will make our minds peaceful and cool. We think of Buddha, Dhammo, Sangho, or emptiness, and the mind is peaceful. This is contemplating the Dhamma. So we can contemplate into Dhamma in order to lead to stillness. This is called wisdom instructing samadhi. And some people with the characters that like to think and proliferate a lot, then they can use wisdom to contemplate until they can make their mind peaceful. And this is not done just only when sitting or standing or a specific meditation posture, but we may have a certain Dhamma theme arise, and then we can take it to contemplate on. Like a Venerable Arahant monk who taught in an easy way that everything, in each mind there is Buddha, or the seed of awakening. It's all Buddha. In people's mind is this inner Buddha. Like we notice, there are two stones, and we can say there is fire and heat inside of them. But if they're not taken to strike against each other, then a spark of fire does not arise. So our mind is naturally in an originally radiant state, according to nature. But if we don't try to make an effort, we don't practice it, we aren't diligent in training the mind, then this quality of Buddha does not arise in the mind by itself. So our practice through the year, making an effort to wake up early, making or buying rice to give for alms, this is effort and perseverance, and this is building goodness through generosity. But at the same time, it is like we are building goodness and building the Buddha in the heart, because dana, sila, or bhavana are ways to make the mind peaceful, and we begin to destroy the greed, hatred, and delusion in the heart. We will start to see the state of the radiant and original mind, which is peaceful. When there is nothing to proliferate, then the mind is clean. But when our samadhi lessens, then our minds start to proliferate a self, a being, a person, me or them. So we need to have mindfulness to know it in time, that it's not like this. And this knowing that arises, which is wisdom, it knows according to reality that there is nothing there. All things are Buddha. They are all empty. There is no self, being, person, me or them. When this knowing arises, then Buddha arises clearly in the heart. There will be firm faith in the Buddha Sasana, unwavering faith in the Buddha, Dhamma and Sangha. And so for those learning Dhamma all through the year, who have been training and developing the mind, developing samadhi and meditating, you will have gained great benefit. And to do all this, we need to have had merit and spiritual development from the past. And then, when there is the faith to give dana coming up, we do it, and then our minds are joyous. The mind is happy that we did it. And it's not about whether the amount is small or large, but it's up to the heart. We do it, and then we feel so joyous and so happy. This is rapture arising. It is the happiness that comes from the merit from doing dana. And when we keep the precepts, we are joyous from keeping the precepts. Some people will gain contentment and happiness from this too. And there are some Dhamma practitioners who are willing to risk their life for the practice. They may have painful feelings arise. It may be serious pain that could even take their life. But they're determined to practice sincerely, and they're even willing to die at that moment. This is praiseworthy. I anumodana with all the Dhamma practitioners who have a determined mind, who put effort in their meditation practice to the extent of being willing to risk their life, even if it's just for a period of time. And even if one doesn't attain anything from it, but this is still a strength of the mind. This is developing one's spiritual qualities and conditions from wanting to practice Dhamma sincerely. So the result of practicing dana, sila and bhavana will give us results so that we can develop the mind to get to the original radiant mind. That is Buddha or awakening. This is the greatest aspiration. And practicing like this with our determined effort, then Buddha will arise in the heart. So from all your practicing of goodness and developing parami, the spiritual perfections, all through the year, the Sangha and myself ask for the parami of all the Buddhas, the parami of all the Pacceka Buddhas, the parami of the Bodhisattvas that have full parami, all the parami of the Dhamma, all the parami of the Sangha, the unbroken lineage of Venerable Arahants, including Ajahn Mun and Ajahn Chah Subato, who we hold as highest. May they all spread metta to our group, to the monks and novices and all the laity. May you have a firm mind, established in goodness and effort. May you have good health and strong body. May you be complete in all things, together with long life, beauty, happiness, strength. May you have all the wealth of mindfulness and wisdom. May all your wholesome aspirations meet with success. May you have keen intelligence arising, and may you have the confidence to overcome all your obstacles.